going on, guys? My name is Eric and welcome to a bit of a more different type of video than usual. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite video games of all time. Main reason why I'm doing this is because since I'm going to start reviewing video games, I need to get my perspective of where I'm coming from for giving a certain game a certain review and say why I love and what I don't like about it. And I guess for this Untitled list, it will give me a perspective where I'm coming from, and also on top of that, because of the Red Dead 2 reviews actually taking longer than expected. It's taking so long. It really is. I really want to do this because this feels like a good conversation starter where I'm coming from, and pretty much you guys can talk about what your favorite video games are. I guess you can say this is a list, but these are the only games that I'm putting on the list. They're in a particular order. I just put it out there and said, like, I said to myself, I should probably think of certain games I should talk about why I love. Also keep in mind, these are my opinions on my favorite games and why I love these games so much. If you don't like my opinion, so be it, but don't be a fucking dick about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about why these games are my favorite. As I said earlier, I think I didn't say it before, this list is in particular order. It's just, I just started writing it down and just see where I went with it. Let's get into the listing. Why am I saying listing? Just switch it! Bioshock Infinite has been one of those games that, personally with me, I do regret not playing when this game originally came out, and this goes for the whole entire Bioshock franchise as well. I really never played it when I was younger, and I somewhat do regret it now for not playing it, because honestly these games are amazing. But personally with me, I prefer Bioshock Infinite over the other two Bioshock games. Don't get me wrong, the other Bioshock games are amazing as well, but I kind of prefer Bioshock Infinite a bit better than all of them. And on top of that, just there's so much done in this fucking game. I love it so much. Now let's get graphics aside. This game is honestly fucking beautiful. I'm gonna be honest, this game is phenomenal. There's so much attention to detail in this game. There are so much things done right on this entire game. For a game that came out in 2013, the graphics are so fucking amazing. I love it. On top of that, the setting in this entire game is fucking beautiful and amazing as well. Bioshock takes place in the year 1912, and you're into a floating city that has a bit of a steampunk type of theme that is called Columbia. On top of that, you're greeted with one of the best video game allies ever. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, Elizabeth is possibly one of the best allies in video games ever, and throughout the whole entire game she is helping you as well. She's giving you ammo, she's finding random money around the game as well. She's also giving you other like abilities. For example, she heals you, she gives you salt for your vigors, and on top of that, her personality is so fucking lovable, man. She's very upbeat, informative on a lot of the times, and she is fucking lovable, man. I can't put in any words to how fucking amazing Elizabeth is.
Elizabeth!
Hello! Oh, this is wonderful! Oh, come dance with me, Mr. DeWitt.
I don't dance. Come on, let's go.
Why? What could be better than this?
On top of the story aspect part of the game, you play as a man named Booker DeWitt. You are also taken to an island lighthouse and told, bring the girl and wipe away your debt. As DeWitt enters the lighthouse, he is told to head to the top of the lighthouse and enter in a code, and as soon as he enters in the code, you see a chair. DeWitt sits on it, and he is thrown into the city that is called Columbia.
Hallelujah.
As you explore the whole entire beautiful city that is Columbia, you will also find out to be the Lost Shepherd, a character that is going to corrupt the world of Columbia as well.
It's him!
Now, where'd you get that brand, boy? Don't you know that makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass false shepherd?
As you run away from the authority, you enter in a tower that you find Elizabeth in. As you find Elizabeth, DeWitt promises to take her to Paris if she's willing to escape with him. But then she realizes DeWitt's taking her to New York to wipe away his debt.
Wait, what is that? 40 north by 74 west. That's not Paris, that's New York.
How did you know that?
One thing I had in that tower was time, Mr. DeWitt. Time to study things like geography.
For me, honestly, this is literally how close I can get to the story. And if you really never played it, I'm gonna be honest, there are some twists and turns and there are some what the fuck moments. Honestly, if you really never played this game is fucking amazing. Honestly, it is a game that's definitely worth playing, and it is worth your time. It is a short one, but honestly with me, I'd rather take like memorable hours than like long, expensive hours for me. On top of that, the characters are just phenomenal as well. This is a definitely must play for me. And if you really never played it, go fucking play it. Now, let's get one of the many Rockstar games out of the way, and I have to say this. Personally to me, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best Grand Theft Auto game out right now. And honestly, I had to give so many credits to Rockstar because personally, before Red Dead 2 came out, I used to hold Grand Theft Auto at a high regard because honestly, it was a really detailed game. There was so much to do, honestly. There's like so much to see, so much to... And I'm quoting Smash Mouth lyric. Good one, me! There's a lot of things I love about this game so much, and honestly, this is one of the games that where I even pick up, I always have to play it to the end no matter what. This is one of the most fun games I have played in a while, and honestly, this is one of the games I do tend to hold a bit of a high regard on. And don't get me wrong, the multiplayer mode is good as well, but at the same time I didn't quite like it. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun mode, but there's a lot of tediousness in this one over online. There's a lot of things you need to do. I don't know, I didn't quite like the multiplayer mode. It was fun, but just there's a lot of things wrong done in it. So let's get into the setting, and the whole entire detail in this game in itself. In Grand Theft Auto 5, for me, the setting is fucking perfect. I love the actual replica of Los Angeles into Los Santos. So much detail has been put into it, and I even how like there was some random dialogue you hear from the citizens. It really hits how fucking accurate that Rockstar actually did this whole entire game. It genuinely fucking surprises me time to time. And also on top of that, the characters in this game are amazing as well. Don't get me wrong. I love Franklin, I love Michael, and Trevor. Yeah, he's something, alright. Franklin, he's mostly a whole entire gangster that's trying to make some dough.
Here, man, you ain't got no motherfucking respect.
Motherfucker, I got respect for reality.
Reality? Alright, you keep thinking that.
Michael is an older retired bank robber and also has a dysfunctional family.
Very funny. You know, you're a real asshole.
What did you just fucking say to me?
Stop it! You're ruining my fucking yoga!
And Trevor, just... I'll let this summarize it.
Well, I gotta fuck someone. You want me to fuck you instead? Is that the problem here? Take off your pants, cowboy, all right? Let's fuck.
You think this is funny?
Get them off! I told him to... Fucking shit! Cut! Who the fuck are you speaking to? Now smile. Yeah, right? That's better. Run along.
Trying.
Come on over here, all right? I ain't gonna hit you.
I've been trying.
I know.
I thought you said you wasn't gonna hit me.
I thought you said you were gonna find fucking Michael Town. I'm sorry. Where are my manners, right? Amanda, it is good to see you. Oh, I missed you. You used to be fatter. Nice new tits, by the way. Jimmy, you used to be thinner, but can't blame you. Who are you?
Namaste. I'm Fabian.
Good Lord.
Honestly, if you really never played the Grand Theft Auto story mode, and if you have the game and you never played it, I am legit gonna question you why you haven't played it. There's so much right in this game that I fucking love it for some reason. And honestly, it's really fucking fun. It is worth your time if you are gonna invest into it. It really is. I'm gonna be honest. Oh boy, I really can't wait to talk about this one. The Last of Us is a fucking masterpiece. Just mwah, amazing. Why did I do that? Let's get this out of the way. Honestly, aside from me loving this game so much, if I had to really go into detail why I love The Last of Us, it can legit be its own separate video, guys, if you want me to. Honestly, it's so much things I had to say, but I'll try to keep it short and simple because this game is amazing. Now, story-wise, this game is fucking beautiful with this story. The story executes everything perfectly. And whenever I play this game, these characters, I put so much emotional tension into them. It's honestly, if one of these characters, who I think dies in the second one, I'm legit gonna burst into fucking tears. And just, I can't put any words in this because I'm stuttering piece how fucking amazing this game is. Now, I'm gonna try to keep the story short and simple, but every single time whenever I see someone play this game, whenever I hear this intro, this always gives me fucking goosebumps. Just listen to this.
The number of confirmed deaths has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
There are hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Panic spread worldwide after a leaked report from the World Health Organization showed that the latest vaccination tests have failed.
Now, with story-wise, I'll try my best not to spoil a lot of things, but I'll try to get you the premise of where the story is going to be set up in. You play as a man named Joel, who has survived over 20 years in a post-apocalyptic world that has been taken over by infected by a fungus called cordyceps. Fun fact, cordyceps is actually a real fungus, but it only affects ants. But in this world, cordyceps has spread to humans, making them into infected in this whole entire game, and honestly, look at the design of this fucking zombie. It is It's so fucking creative. Hats off to the people at Naughty Dog who came up with it. In game, you meet a lady called Tess, who is shown that both Joel and Tess have some history. Tess does tell Joel that she was jumped by some people who were sent by Robert, who is his black market dealer. Robert owed Joel and Tess these weapons, and Robert decided to double cross them and sell them to the Fireflies, which is a militia group in the game. The leader of the Fireflies needed Robert for something, but they offered the job to Joel and Tess instead, and offering to give up a deal that was double the price of Robert offered, and decided to smuggle something. As they agree to it, Marlene tells Joel and Tess to smuggle a teenage girl named Ellie. That is pretty much the premise of the story that I can't go in without spoiling anything. Now, gameplay wise, this game isn't really a generic type of zombie game where you feel like Rambo and you have like a lot of ammo in your gun and killing everything in line of sight. It really isn't like that. This game has certain playstyles that you can play in. You can go in gun blazing. You will have ammo, but you will lack health. You can stealth your way through the game. You will have ammo and health, but at the same time you will lack shivs, and there's a certain amount of materials around the entire area you might be in. You can stealth kill, but at the same time the bodies will stay in place, and if an enemy encounters it, they will be on high alert. Pretty much if they see you, they're shooting on sight. And this game gives you a fine line of what you need to do. There's certain areas that you can go in. Even hell, you can even play the game without almost killing everything in sight. There are some moments where you do need to kill, but there are most of the moments that you can't kill and you could just pass through the enemies. And honestly, this game does everything right, and I love this game. Instead of the whole entire Uncharted franchise that Naughty Dog is known for, they decided to take that over the top gameplay and just take it down as a slow it down, change of pace, and just view the environment, view everything about it. Just everything of this game is just done right. Whenever I hear that intro and the outro of the game, every time I always get goosebumps because I know what the journey is coming and how the journey ends. Again, this is a game that I absolutely recommend to everyone. And whenever people get into gaming, they don't know what game to play first, I always tell them to say, go play The Last of Us. Get a PlayStation 4 first and play The Last of Us, because honestly, this is a journey that no one would ever forget.
Okay.
And this is a game that pretty much just, I can't put into words of how fucking amazing this game is. Honestly, it is amazing. Just the story is paced well. Everything about this game is definitely worth your time if you guys are planning to get this. Definitely a phenomenal game. A masterpiece. I'm gonna be honest. A fucking masterpiece. Like, mwah. These games are fucking phenomenal. Honestly, everyone can say this and will back me up on this. These two games are absolute fucking masterpieces. Everyone can say that Ocarina of Time is the best video game of all time, which they are correct in a certain degree. Well, I'm not saying a certain degree, they're correct in every degree. Ocarina of Time is one of those games that really, this game has a lot of emotional connection to every single person who has ever played this. The game had charm, everything about the game was phenomenal. And if you've never played this game and you claim yourself to be a gamer, what I want you to do is, first of all, pause the video. Hi, feature me here editing the video, and I want to say that this part of the video has been cut because the main reason why I did that is because for safety reasons, and I don't want to get involved with certain problems that have been happening with Nintendo. And there are videos out there that will show you how to install an emulator and play Nintendo licensed games, but at the same time, I just want to cut this part of the video out because I kind of did show how to install it. So there's videos out there to do it. I'm just cutting this part off for safety reasons, so hope you guys download it and play these two fucking games. Honestly, these are games worth your fucking time. It is very hard to describe how fucking amazing these games are. The only game that can compete with Ocarina of Time is its predecessor, Majora's Mask. This is another fine example of storytelling of show, don't tell. Lots of games tend to struggle with this because they rather tell the story, while Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are a fine example of showing the story. The game sets its atmosphere perfectly because it's showing you how it looks and feels, and everything about it just feels right. Let's show a fine example. The Great Deku Tree. A tree that has been living for hundreds of years, passing multiple generations of these kids growing up in this forest. As you enter in the tree, you are also cluttered with a lot of webs, spiders, and plants. As the music sets in, you notice that the place is dying as well. And the player knows this because you are also shown how it's talk, and it's shown in a cutscene of it passing away. Let's get to a story part where pretty much it just tells you the story without it just being like non-stop talk. Skull Kid's story. Skull Kid was just a child that just wanted friends, but he always pulled tricks on them. His friends had enough of it, so they decided to leave him. Navi and his brother found Skull Kid and decided to make friends with him, showing him having a lot of fun with them. As that happened, Skull Kid stumbled upon the Happy Mask Salesman, where Majora's Mask is calling him, to harness its power and show the game that Skull Kid really isn't the villain, it's the mask. Now, when I was growing up, I didn't really play Ocarina of Time until I was like 13, but I played Majora's Mask when I was young, and I loved Majora's Mask. It was one of my most favorite games, but as soon as years later when I went to go play Ocarina of Time, it was really fucking hard to debate these two games because a lot of people try to compare like other games to Ocarina of Time. Nothing can outreach Ocarina of Time instead of its sequel, Majora's Mask, being head-to-head. Whenever I try to compare other video games from its old predecessor, I tend to compare them both of those games. And a lot of the time, a lot of AAA titles don't quite do the sequels as promising as or as good as they can. There are some franchises out there that do like outdo the predecessor or try to keep it level-headed with the predecessor. For example, Mass Effect 2, Borderlands 2, Titanfall 2, Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Uncharted 2, Portal 2, Black Ops 2, you fucking name it. Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time are possibly the best video games of all time. Both of these cannot compete with each other. They are just straight fucking masterpieces. And there's so much things why I say these games are comparable, because these are the only ones that are really close to each other. From graphics to animation, from story, and from the soundtracks. Oh my fucking... Just listen to the soundtrack. But a lot of people don't quite bring these two games at level-headed or like bring an argument for both of these games, because literally Ocarina of Time is the best video game, and the one I can think can compete next to it is Majora's Mask. And I have to say this, a lot of people don't quite say this, but I'm gonna be saying it because I fucking can, because this is my opinion. Ocarina of Time is the best video game of all time, while Majora's Mask is the best video game sequel of all time. Don't at me. Honestly, if you really never played these games, you need to do yourself a favor and actually do what I said earlier in this video when I was talking about, and just install the emulator and play these games. These games are worth 100% of your time. There is so much memorable things in this game, and there's so much things to do. As much as I want to tell you the story, I really cannot. You need to play it yourself and see what I'm talking about. These two games are honestly a must play to me. Phenomenal games. You know, not a lot of games get a proper end to the franchise. They just continue milking the series and squeeze as much money as they can before they cut the plug on it. And Uncharted 4 really got that ending that many gamers wanted for other franchises. And really it deserves a lot of credit for me, because I really actually like this game. I'm gonna be honest, I used to hold Uncharted 2 at a high regard because it was really a game that really couldn't be touched, and it was a shit ton of fun. There was so much done writing this game. The story was amazing. But now comparing it to Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 4, really there's a massive difference between these two games, and I love it. Now, gameplay is really the staple of this game, and honestly, the gameplay is really fucking good. The slide and grapple hook mechanic is amazing. On top of that, the stealth in this game is phenomenal too. You can pounce your enemies and stealth kill them using the environment around you like a playground to kill your enemies. On top of that, the enemies can lose track of you as well, making the stealth like hide and seek type of vibe. On top of that, the graphics animation on this game is fucking amazing. I can tell a lot of time and effort went into this, and a lot of money onto this as well, because the game is too goddamn beautiful. Before Red Dead 2 came out, I used to hold this game at a top regard because really this is the top dog of detail and animation and graphics. Honestly, it was amazing. Now, story-wise, I really don't want to spoil it because it is kind of a good story, I'm going to be honest, but it did have a bit of a lame type of climax, I guess you can say. It was overall pretty good. I liked it, was solid, but I'll try to summarize it. Years before the first Uncharted game was set, Nathan Drake was on a search for Henry Avery's treasure. As searching for the treasure, Samuel Drake, Nathan's older brother, decided to help the search for the Henry Avery's treasure. One of the clues led to a Panamanian prison. As they escaped the prison, Sam was shot in the prison and was left for dead. 15 years later, Nathan left behind the treasure hunting days and decided to settle down with Elena. But Nathan had that itch for that thrill again. Sam enters him back into the picture, and Nathan tells everything what happened in between that time period that Sam was gone. Nathan also asks how Sam got out of the prison. Sam tells the story that Hector Alcazar broke him out of prison, and Alcazar demands his deed to be repaid. Alcazar knows about Henry Avery's treasure and knows how much it is worth, and tells Sam to pay his debts with that treasure. And Sam decides to ask Nathan for his help in order to find this treasure. Nathan tells Sam that he has a lot on the line, but Nathan decides to risk it all and lie to Elena that he's taking a job and to go help out his brother. So Nathan contacts his buddy that he's met with at the beginning of his journey solely, and decided to seek out for Henry Avery's treasure. That's pretty much the premise of the story without spoiling anything. Honestly, this game is really a must play, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, Uncharted 2 has a story, but if you love the second one and you haven't played the third one, or you didn't want to play the third one and you want to get the fourth one, I definitely recommend the fourth one, because there's a lot of things that are amazing on this one. Now sure, as I said earlier, the story isn't really as good as Uncharted 2, but the mechanics is far and fucking beyond of how fun this game is, making every single environment that you play in really a fucking playground. As I said before, this game is really a must fucking play, and really is so much worth every time. So those are my most favorite games of all time, and keep in mind these are my opinions. If you don't like them, that's fine, but that doesn't excuse you to be a dick and hate on me because of these opinions. So I'm gonna be honest, I really want to know what your guys' favorite games of all time as well. Leave it in the comments below. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am trying fast enough to finish the Red Dead 2 review, and I'll upload it as soon as I can when it's done. So anyways guys, I'll see you guys later. Peace.